Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. When William Ruto took oath of office, experts had predicted that it was only a matter of time and he would be knocking into Uhuru Kenyatta's office seeking for a handshake or for approval. To date, it is said that Uhuru Kenyatta has never congratulated William Ruto for what he believes was not a proper win, except that according to the constitution, he says he handed over power peacefully. Yesterday, Uhuru went to a church and he made certain remarks that his life has been full of traitors, people who betrayed him, and people are still trying to understand what kind of betrayal is he talking about. Does it mean he's talking about the people who betrayed him when he wanted his candidate to be supported by deep state? Is he talking about the betrayal in their second term in office? People are still asking. But then we are being told that Uhuru Kenyatta has rejected an offer from the government to give him an office. And it is said there's a standoff as Uhuru rejects a signed retired president's official office. The government wants Uhuru to use an office that was previously occupied by his predecessor Mwai Kibaki before his death in April 2022 in Nairobi's Nyari Estate, Gigiri. But he has rejected this kind of move. I don't know why the government is really looking for Uhuru Kenyatta now, because Uhuru seems to have switched off and he has blocked every kind of any deal between him and the government. You know, Uhuru has nothing to lose. He had done his 2 terms and he's retired. And like he said, he gave them time to fix the economy that they had accused him of ruining. I want us to try and look at reasons why Uhuru Kenyatta does not want to engage this government. Because Uhuru is human. If you were in his shoes, would you accept this kind of olive branch that the government is offering? As we continue with the discussion, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time or you are part of our regular viewers but you have not yet subscribed. The kind of support that we need is that you subscribe so that we grow together. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video. We always request you to give this video thumbs up and help us share our videos. Again, to those who support us in one way or the other, I want to thank you in a very special way. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto disagreed with Uhuru in their second term in office. And Uhuru accused Ruto as a man who was running ahead of his time. He was saying that instead of Ruto helping him to realize the development goals that they had promised their supporters, William Ruto started campaigning 5 years before the election. And he was saying that, like in a relay, Ruto should have waited to be handed over the baton, but he started running without the baton. Ruto on his side was saying that he helped Uhuru rule for 2 terms, and therefore he had every right to start campaigning because Uhuru had said, kumi yangu, kumi yako. So he was saying there was nothing wrong. People campaign as they support the development goals. But that was not enough. After taking oath of office, they started, showing Uhuru Kenyatta that he was nothing. He was never given the treatment of a former president. And people have been trying to juxtapose William Ruto's behavior vis-a-vis that of Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki had, taken over a government that was ruined socially, economically, and everything. He never once blamed the former regime. He took his time and delved into fixing the economy. But if you look at William Ruto, he did what we can call social, political, injustice to his predecessor. He decided to attack the son of Uhuru Kenyatta, accusing him of being in possession of illegal guns. He went ahead and frustrated the mother, withdrawing security that Mama Ngina had of ever since independence. And this is the height or the highest social injustice that you can do to your predecessor, someone that you have worked with. Then there was political injustice when, up to date, they tried to grab his political party, the Jubilee Party, that he really invested both physically, socially, and economically. And that was political injustice. Up to date, they still recognize Sabina Chege as the party leader. And then there was economic sabotage when he went and shut the milk production that Uhuru had owned in Uganda. And even the president of Uganda complained that when you shut this as a result of your enmity between you and Uhuru Kenyatta, you render some of our people jobless in an economic time where joblessness is the order of the day. So there was, and they even went and invaded the Northland farm, taking away sheep, cutting down trees. This was economic sabotage. So there was economic, social, and political sabotage against his predecessor. Be that as it may, they have never come out and apologized, because when they made it, very public that Uhuru was trying to sabotage Ruto's economic agenda. Up to recent, they still, maintained that it was Uhuru who was sponsoring people to go to court to sabotage William Ruto's NHIF, the National Social Health Insurance, fund, the housing levy. They still maintain that. No one has come out to apologize to Uhuru Kenyatta, yet they are inviting him now to take up an office. You see, whoever comes for justice, they say, must come in clean hands, with clean hands. But now, on one side, you still blame Uhuru Kenyatta. They say that he was the author of our the downtrodden economy, that he was the one who plundered our economy. At some point, Rigathi is saying that towards the election in 2022, they stashed money into boxes and transferred them somewhere. And they have maintained that they inherited a dilapidated economy. There were no money in the coffers. So Uhuru is waiting for an apology. I think if they come and apologize, then he can accept. These kind of injustices that were meted on him must be reciprocated by an apology. That has been the order of the day. When you apologize, then someone can consider. Uhuru understands that in case he accepts this kind of olive branch, then they will start bragging that, we have compromised him. The other day, Rigathi Gachagua was saying that now Ruto amepanga Raila, anampeleka pale AU, sasa tumebaki peke yetu. And he was telling the people of Malindi that kama huu jama wenyu, the general amepangwa, sasa nyinyi mnafanya nini huko nje, kujeni hapa. Now, if Uhuru will accept this office, then you will hear them, all over the moon with joy, and they will be bragging that now Ruto amepanga Raila, sasa amepanga Uhuru. They will be telling Kalonzo, watu wako wamepangwa, kuja tukupange hapa. They believe in kupanga. Anytime you want development, they will tell you kuja State House tupange. They don't believe that we have a new constitution that demands that everyone, courtesy of being a taxpayer, must receive the national cake. So Uhuru does not want this kind of political bragging right, ya kwamba tumepanga Uhuru. Because the day Uhuru will take that office, you will hear them bragging, Ruto amempanga. And I think he doesn't want this kind of narrative. Now, the other thing is that Uhuru does not want to be part of the mess in this country. Doctors are on strike. The controller of budget and the auditor general is really revealing wastage and massive corruption in the government. We are told that umbrellas in State House and the umbrellas were being bought at 3 million Kenya shillings. A watch at, 700,000 Kenya shillings. And there's a lot of wastage. Margaret Nyakang keeps on revealing this. If Uhuru will take this office, then they shall have, formed what we may call a handshake. And so Uhuru will be part of this mess. That is what happened to Raila in 2022. A government of the day has never been perfect because people feel they are being, pushed to some extent economically, politically, socially. And they said that instead of Raila talking on behalf, talking for the downtrodden and the voiceless, he went to bed with that government. So they want Uhuru to be part of this mess. And they have accused him that he was part of the engineer of the economic mess. when he was president. Now, when he joins the government, he will be sanitizing them. He will be part of the corruption. He will be part of the wastage because Uhuru has ever said he does not want to be part of this. He rejected the NADCO report. And Ruto wants to ensure that anybody who can speak against this government, who can pinpoint areas of weaknesses and wastage, are inside the box. And this is what Uhuru does not want. They had accused him of a man who does not know how to run an economy, and so he does not want to be part of this because it will be said like the Kenya is left alone. Uhuru ameingia, Raila ameingia, kila mtu ameingia, and he does not want this. And the last one, they're looking for this kind of handshake for 2022. 2027. Ruto knows very well that if there is one who is a stumbling block on his way to becoming a president, especially when you go to Central, is Uhuru Kenyatta himself. They campaigned accusing Uhuru that Uhuru had neglected them after they overwhelmingly voted for him. They have continued to say that Raila captured Uhuru and took him to Kisumu. So all the development projects were being taken to Kisumu. And they went with this narrative, they perpetuated it, and the hustlers bought into this narrative. And so they were voting against Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe ndio ulituacha, ulikuwa mtu wetu, and all this. But people are realizing that they were hoodwinked. Some of them have apologized. They've even prayed that God, how we wish we listened to Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru told them, endeleeni kusema dynasty mbaya, hustler endelee kutawala. The prophecy has come and has been fulfilled. They are realizing that the man who called himself a hustler is worse than the dynasties. And he knows very well that Uhuru will still remain a spokesperson, and he will determine and champion the cause of Mount Kenya politics. So he wants Uhuru to come back so that as they approach 2027, because they are in top gear trying to lay a foundation for the election in 2027, and they want Uhuru to be part of them, and Uhuru knows this very well. You've seen them. Uhuru told them, in fact, through his machineries. I remember people like Murad were telling them, Jubilee is your house. That UDA is not your house. If today you sabotage and you are kicked away, you don't have a house you call your own, come back to Jubilee where you can speak freely, because in UDA, you've been muzzled and you cannot speak. So they understand so well that Uhuru will determine the political course there. For Rigathi Gachagua, he wants to become the ultimate Mount Kenya kingpin. And he knows very well that without Uhuru's support, there is nothing. Already yesterday, you saw people endorsing Ndindi Nyoro. And Rigathi Gachagua knows very well that it is very chaotic there. Sooner, after Ruto will be out of sight, then no one will listen to Rigathi Gachagua. Those young thugs will start giving him a run for his money. And for him to unite Mount Kenya, he needs Uhuru Kenyatta. So both of them need him. The problem here is Rigathi wants Uhuru so that they can rally behind him to support Ruto, but with Rigathi as the kingpin. But Ruto wants Uhuru Kenyatta for himself too. Ruto doesn't want a situation where when he goes to the mountain, he has to pass through someone. Now that is the problem. They do not want to, everyone, both Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua wants a handshake on his own. Because Ruto knows very well that the day Rigathi Gachagua will ensure that he unites the whole of Mount Kenya, it will be problematic to Ruto. Because now, Rigathi will be dictating what happens. Rigathi is a go-getter, and you've seen it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are Uhuru Kenyatta, would you accept that office? Because this is a handshake. Would you accept that office? If I were Uhuru Kenyatta, I would not until they apologize and they come with clean hands. I don't know what you think, but that is my take.